Hello, I decided to come back. Right now I cannot share myself at all. They took away all the rights. So we'll do that later. When the rights are back, then I'll be able to share whatever I have to share. But as of now, I cannot share myself at all. And back. Let me do the teaching now before it gets so late. Hope I can catch up with my dad too before he goes to bed. Yeah, I decided to do it right now and be able to catch up with my own father. Let everyone do their part, and you are supposed to attend the classes and follow. The rest will be your part. Right now it's about you playing your part, and the rest you leave it to God. When he comes to ask for accountability, I pray you're able to give the accountability. I was moving around and doing my own stuff there, and I met I read something somewhere. Someone made a made a comment which is very interesting, and they never thought about it when they were doing it. Africa will have a problem because you don't believe in each other, you don't love each other, you don't support one another. You think things don't work. We are putting the first thing last. When you're starting school, you're taken to school and you're taught the alphabet, you're taught numbers, you're taught different things. But we are putting the last things first, and we are failing at all levels. We are failing at all levels. Why? Because we are getting what is supposed to be at the front line, and we're putting it last. And we think we are bright. Let's find out how that works. Let's find out how that works. It gets bumpy and crazy and very interesting, but don't you worry. Let's see how your ideas work. You can invite your friend, you can invite we don't have time anymore. You think we have time? I don't think so. I don't think so. If you still think you have time, enjoy the season. But as of now, when I look at things, I don't see you having any time at all. That's the challenge you're going to have. Let's see how that goes. Let's see how high you can jump. Let's see how high you can go. You know, people have started a very wrong mentality. They are sharing wrong information. The way they understand something is the way they want to bring it out, and the world is believing them. Let's see how that goes. Because you've lied to one another for so long, but the rate at which you're crawling and hiding behind the little money you have, it's so embarrassing. Let me see how high you can jump. If you think you can jump. We are playing long distance. High jump. Let's see how high you can jump. Some of you went and told people back home that I'm here preaching the word. I am not working. I just love Ugandans. The way you spread rumors is just amazing. I just love the way you spread rumors. Let's see how high you can jump, my fellow Ugandans. Let's see how high you can jump. You sit there and make the money. Let me sit here and preach the word. And we see how high you can jump. It's time to jump. It's long jump now. Make sure you buy data. Since you're working, you have the money, make sure you buy data. Let me see how high you can jump. Let's see who uses their time well on earth. You go and make money. Please go. Make sure you buy data. It is bird out there. But let me see how high you can jump. Let me share this again. I cannot share on Facebook now. I have to share in WhatsApp. Let me now lumba. Let me lumba. Let me see how high your pastors can jump. Awo eyango byenjiri eyiye yokka gye tuwulira kamwesonyiwe mbeere n'essanyu. Eyiye yokka yenjiri so eyo sirinnyayo seeretera bizibu nganda. Let's see how high they can jump. My apostles, my pastors, my bishops, my evangelists, let's see how high you can jump. They call that the month of May. Let me see if these children have given them the numbers. Africa, until you learn how to love one another, until when you learn how to support one another, until when you learn to do things to add, until when you learn the alphabetical chart that starts with A, doesn't start with Z, until when you learn how to count, you start with 0 and you go after 100. That's the only time you're going to get a breakthrough. But if you're getting 100 and putting it on the front line, watch us and move. I have seen something that brought tears in my eyes. Then later I got a message that has overwhelmed my heart in a way I can't explain. And it came from the government of the United States of America. I cannot serve the Lord. Nenviramu awo. Oyo Katonda gwe nakkiriza beena abamuyaaye. Forgotten something. The way God is doing things in my life, I don't let me even send to my pastor. Let me even send these matters. Yes, give them. Give them. Give them. Bote bambuuzaako ssebo babiriyo nga basirise. Nga tebagamba buno bamaama abange. No, by you, what kind of mothers are these ones? How can you be my mother when you don't say hi? What is that supposed to mean? Hey, waliyo ekibooko yo tetujja mulumba tumuleke mwana. The month of May is for mothers. Let me see how high mothers can jump. But you can't be a mother when you don't have a man in your life. Can you? You cannot. Let's see how high your men can jump to make you a mother. Let's see how that goes. You've always told us you have a man and you're so proud. That is why some of you decided to wear high heels and step on our toes, because you have a man. Let me see how high your man can jump. When you learn to read the alphabet the right way, when you learn to read the abacus or the number line the right way, you're going to go to heaven straight. But since you get 100 and put it in the place of number 1, enjoy, Esther Solome. It is time to see how high you can jump. You said you're tall. You said you have a man. You said you're a mother. You can't be a mother without a father, right? Let me see how high your man can jump. Let me see how high you as a mother you can jump. Today it is long jump. Let me see how high you can touch. You said you're tall. Let me see how your hands, how long your pocket is, how stretchy it can. Until when you stop selling the wrong medication to your patients whom you want to kill with your wrong attitudes and your wrong things you're teaching us. Let's see how that goes. For you, go and work, make money, buy data. Let me sit here and preach the word of God. I get paid by the government. And for you, you work there and you get peanut. Let us first dance as usual. Esther, I did not go. I decided to come here and spend time with you today. You give you precious time. That is someone who loves you. They give you time. That is how it works. That is love. I don't know how you show us your love. I have made sure that I've sent messages to everyone so that when God comes to ask for accountability, I just present my report. My report. Let's see how high you can jump. Yeah, some of you said I'm wasting time when I'm doing what? What did you say? I am wasting time when I'm what? When I'm preaching the gospel? Please, you go and work. Make sure zowala oziraba nga ziwera. Kubanga bamu ndaba bye musiba bye bikutuka. Otegedde ekintu ekyo. Kubanga singa zaali zaawera tewandituyise kuyamba ng'olina ekizibu. Let me see how high you can jump, you who is at work. Timwagamba nti I'm wasting time here. Mugenda kujiwulira. Please, you go and work. Make sure you buy data, enough data, so that you can see the things that are taking you to heaven. People are loving on one another. Ugandans, we can't love one another. All we are doing is to destroy one another. All we are doing is posting negative things about our own country. And you also have children in the month of May. When I saw that, I cried somewhere. Then later, the government sent me a message on my phone. Testimony jangu tuzinire ku YouTube. Akasajja kazemu ne kankuba kiboko ne kangamba nkoppe music wammwe mwina copyright. Siyinza butazina kubanga kintu sakonze sikitegedde. Like, mwagamba nkumbulira njiri sina na sente. Teri kwogera. Tuli omwoyo n'omubiri. Kangu muwe gwonna. So that I can become richer every day. Oyo bamuyise May. Waba mama. I am a mother. Ezamata Yesu amazo zisasula. Nga tudde butuzi wano. Manyi ekitegeeza gavumenti ya America okusasula. Give Caesar what belongs to Caesar and give God what belongs to God. Abaana bafunye amata. Akaunti yange enkalo. Yesu n'alyoka agiteekamu ssente. Naye tataddeemu pocket change na binusunusu. Kityo kambalike anze ne byange. Kambikuwe newa sadaka. This is the life of an engineer who gave her life to the Lord and never looked back. No compromise. Byange, who has added value to the nation. Nga teri agimanyi. Nga ate sente yazikola. Mwe abazungu be babawa ne mugamba mbu mugatta value ku country. Nga bwenzimuwa bwazizza. Obadduka mu group temuyina sente. Sente zonna ze mpadde Yesu akubisizzamu by 7 times. Nyawo. Takoddeyo. Akubisizzaamu 7 times nga ntudde butuuzi wano. Ze nagenze nenkolera omukubi wa kibooko. Yesu akubisizzaamu emirundi 7. Zonna ze nakuwadde z'omanyi. Kati nzimbire taata wange ennyumba. Oba gwe wazimpadde. Taata wange si yenze muzaala ayina bamuzaala please. Si yenze nasikira taata we, si yenze nasikira maama we. Maama we gyali mulamu ne taata we yafa naye omusika abazimbire. Yesu omulokozi nesigeri nyalyo joyo omulokole engineer. Nga ba engineer bannange tebalina mirimu bali eyo bakaaba. Abatannalokoka baganya okulokoka abajerega okulokoka. Dr. Shtuka nja kujja tunyamu ka chai. Mwamwina mabanja bababanja tenze. Ne bw'okomba ku paasi sisobola kugamba, ngenda kugamba kekyo kyokka. It's about giving God your life completely and also. Olyoka ofune essanyu in just a minute nganze. Emyaka tatange gyamaze ngakolera Yesu 48. Ngatambula ne Yesu, ngakolera Yesu. Yesu agenze n'asanyusa busanyusa just like that. Emyaka mama wange gye yeefiiriza. Ffe tulabike bulungi. Ekkanisa n'emuyita omuggulu. Teyeefaako. Teyalabirira. Tasobola nagula kawiigi. Those are the unkind words you've told us for 38 years. I've heard those unkind words for 38 years. Enjoy. I thought we were supposed to love one another and help one another to go to another level. But all you do is give me all the rotten words. Only bongo. Temumpa yokumatamala mumumpa bongo. I've never seen this in my life. Africa, when will you start to support one another? When will you start telling one another kind words? The president yavagambye mulye muwogo. I ate cassava 2019 for a full year. Nga tekulinva. Mugome. Safa, I actually became healthy. Amanyeri nyalange. Amanyeri nyalange. Yes, amanyi. Amanyeri nyalange. Mumukwana munji. Bamwise Mei. Amanyeri nyalange. Kawe sibineda. Amanyeri nyalange. Dala Yesu amanyi. Amanyeri nyalange. Mumukwano munji. Ampita linya. Nekus ya. Nyao kwagala. Ngatakuliko. Tamanya gasinga haningi hani. Nayenga kuduka budusi. Lava njagala Yesu. Kubanganza njagala. Hey. Dirika. Takuleka. Bera Yesu abera wo. Katya chije. Waba mpita erinya. Dala Yesu amanyi. Simasiba wasibina danze. Nkwana munji. Ampita erinya. Oh, manyi. Amanyeri nyalange. Nariso Sala yagaba. Nachimera Solome Kalibala nagaba. Nabulya Grace nagaba. Kabeja nagaba. Nalongo omu atalya mukene Hajati nagaba. Namboze yagaba. Grace Nachintu yagaba. Solome bw'ati naye n'agaba UK. Simunofu omuntu gw'oyagala bamanyi okukyusa n'abuusa kuba nga gw'oyagala kusamba eri beera waabange tingumye sirina kinatiisa nedda ologome bambatira omutima ne guguma asinga abalala omanya erinnya lyange simusibeko oba sibinedda lineegi yange abakyala kabejja yagaba Nakimera Solome n'agaba omugagga Nareiso n'agaba Nabulya Grace n'agaba Saala n'agaba kati sitiika yange and I have done my best. Trust me. You told me nga banguza nsigalidde awo. Trust me, the more I give, the more he gives. Guma. Ekisiraani ky'okubeera nga sirina kyakutuka dda kasita COVID yajja because I'm a game changer. Wakozesa sente zaffe, right? No gagawala. You are a giant, I'm a general. Guma. Cheche kiva mu kugaba. Togaba nnyo abagagga tebagaba because bakopi bakodo bali nnyo kufe ba generals ne bafuuka abagagga. when nalya muwogo the whole year nawamukama sente zisukka mu $2 2,000 nga nakakolako only 1 year and a few months wakawa mukama sente meka gatakuliko oba mulina sente lwaki muyimba government etuyambe nga kudduka buddusi tutandika butandisi goma ogenda jiwulira eyo bagise kamu plaza akayumba koyina kali kuloonya akamotoka buli kimu tekuli kicyo ne wiigi n'obukoowokowe n'ettaka lyoliko erimu lyange tolina na kyapa kituufu sukuma ettaka lyaffe mwalibba ne mulitunda ne mugamba nti no tulina emikono tugende tukole. This is me working. Muli ku ttaka lya jjajjange ko mweyagalira mwebale omuntu gw'oyagala bamanyi okukyuka n'abuuza ddala n'onaakuba kiruma kiruma nga gwayagala kusamba eri beera wange nga tewali asobola sirina kinanteka kuba empologoma empambatira omutima ne guguma asinga abalala ddala Yesu amanyi erinnya lyange simusibako bwesibi nedda nze amanyi erinnya lyange tosinda nze nga bagenda deportinga nze nkola sente nakutuze n'abanene yalisolye Peter muzana we make sure you have the right mask ndi mwana we batusuza myaka 4 ne batulangira I'm claiming everything the cankerworm ate. When you see me wear a mask, I'm saying, stay away from rumor mongers. I am claiming everything the cankerworm ate. Batugamba nti tuganidde mu buyumba bw'abantu for 40 years. Nenga kayumba kwe tuli ka mwami Sengeno nga tata we yakamwa ne mama we senga wa tata wange. Ni edda twatiyinzanga. Be careful the words you tell children. When you speak when children are there, be careful. Remera yensenkulusanya. Mama anatono itani. Ebyo byonna bye mbagamba babyogera mpulira. Na bumba. Nino mubumbi yabumba byenne byange oyo mubumbi abumba kazibe sente oyo mubumbi his name is Jehovah nanze gunya ha okutale Nina mere Bolabanzin, I'm reversing a curse that came with all the rotten words and negative words. Bye tugamba ebisibye family y'omukyala n'omwami Lubwama n'ekigozi. Oyo mubumbi bwenzina abawala bonna bagenda kufumbirwa abaganya okuzaala bagenda kuzaala abalenzi babere stable mu bufumbo bwabwe bakole ssente ndegambudabudanga nkoye yanyiganyiga mutima yampembeja wembeja Ne yagamba nti no tebampeerera babiveeko batulabiridde ekimala. Ne bagamba nze maama wa jjajja w'abanene balekerawo okundabirira n'okutuweerera. Because saagala bazzukulu baabwe babeere n'ebikolimo ebyava mu bigambo bye batugamba ebyamenya emitima gyaffe. Oyo yenna dansi gw'olaba, I'm reversing a curse because I don't want to see the curse on any of the Nakabirye ne Nakaswate ba mukyala Lubwama Esther Solome, because I stepped in her shoes. Oyo mubumbi, his name is abasika abalala mukola mutya. Enjoy. When they tell you negative words, just dance so that God reverses the curse. Because if I don't dance, the curse is going to be on the great-grandchildren of Nachimera, Lubwama, Solome. But since I wore the shoes, I need to reverse things. All the rotten words that were said by people who were taken care of by Kabeja and Rwalala, it's me to reverse the curse. Because I wore her shoes through her daughter. In an amazing way that they don't know. Because they hid me. I am reversing the curse that is upon Uganda of the innocent bloodshed. Whenever you see me, just know I'm reversing the curse. We've been told hurting words by people taken care of by my great-grandmother and her husband, Luwalala. Ngababyogera live. Now I'm reversing the curse because I'm the third generation for her. I don't want the kids who are supposed to call me Mama Senga to get the curse of rotten words spoken by my aunties, my uncles. Abana bampita jaja, abana bampita mama. Let me reverse the curse. I've worked and taken care of my father for 20 years. And I've made sure I am the judger they have. I am the best judger. They call nga bayina ebizibu ne mbawa advice. And things work. He's a faithful God. He'll never form miracle. He saw me says. Azirina sajononya Yesu ajirina. How can I have a pain of over 57 years when I'm 37? Really? And 57 minus 37, that is 20 years of me taking care of my father. I was 20 when I started taking care of my dad. I sacrificed everything I have. Oh, mugambe ti wano, na wano Yesu wawonya. Mutima guluma, nesanyu tofuna. Gabuza, nesubi tofuna. Beti wano tata we waluma. Oh, mugambe ti wano, na wano Yesu wawonya. Wano tata we waluma. Mugambe ti wano, na wano Yesu wawonya. Ti wano tata we waluma. Mugambe ti wano, na wano Yesu wawonya. wano tata we waluma. Mugambe ti wano, na wano Yesu obawonya. When I know you I don't want Olanya's kids to go through what I've gone through. I pray that Radio's kids don't go through what I've gone through. And every innocent blood that has been shed for over years. Every child that lost a father and a mother who works for government. Who doesn't work for government, but your parents were killed innocently. May the Lord heal you. I stand in a gap for you on a big level. I know what it means. Because they transferred their pain. And I got the pain of 57 years. Weyantero mukisa wakati wenyanja awo. Masekati gambuyaga. Yeweyo. Weyantero mukisa Nyaza. You didn't have to pass on the pain and say rude words. It wasn't necessary. I wasn't there. You don't know the damage you caused. Naye Yesu yabalekuja. Family would have done that, but not church. Because when our roots were cut off in family, we weren't going to church. Wayantero mukisa wakati wenyanja awo. Masekati gambuyaga. Yeweyo. Wayantero mukisa Nyaza. Sometimes I'm like, I wish I was the last born or second born or third born, not a first born. But I can't reverse it. But to accept and go through it the way God wants it. Chaigamba. Wayantero mukisa wakati wenyanja awo. Masekati gambuyaga. Wayantero mukisa wakati wenyinyaza. Wayantero mukisa. Family yandinkubye, church teyandinkubye. Mwandikozeeyo ekirala kanisa. Abajerega byenkola bo bangi nga tebe baganda bange. Abennamirembe batusunga. N'abakatuluki batusunga. Kyekigudde mbalokole. Lwaki mulwana? Lwaki tuyombayomba? Byenzimbye byonna mubisuula busuuzi. Ebyange tebabisuula. Trust me. Ooh. Ooh. When I watched Pastor Bugembe yesterday, I didn't know what hole he had opened. Now I can tell what he opened. I will have to go through it, and I'll be fine. Kwata omukono, genda omukono. Kwata omukono. Dr. Serada, thank you so much for giving us a platform. "37 years, someone should be restored. Someone should not ferment because we can become poison and destroy one another." Pastor Bugembe, I'll send you a mattress on the 8th of 8th when you're making 38. I'll send you some mattress for kids who don't have where to sleep. I know what it means. Omukono gwange, kwata omukono. Kwata omukono. Dr. Segawa, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to work. Bali ku nguudo ze twakola, waka gwe twakola ne manager approvinga kwe batambulira. Bali mu bizimbe. All the sectors, the 7 spheres. God gave me the opportunity to work there. Thank you so much, Otim Moses, for giving me an opportunity. Thank you so much, Dr. Paul Segawa and David Nkutu. Shiba, thank you so much, Ndagire. Edith Kahubire, I am grateful. Anifa Lubega, thank you. Miriam Gunyo, thank you. All environmental practitioners, I'm humbled. Raymond Katevak, Arthur Nkutu, Richard Bavakure, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to work with such an amazing team. Peter and your wife, Celia Narada, I am humbled to know you. Thank you so much. Mama, thank you so much for allowing me to be your daughter. And Sarah, thank you so much for sacrificing yourself to go to the UK and make sure we study in good schools. Thank you so much. You even forgot that you paid fees for me because you think I'm very bright. To all mothers that have added value in my life, I'm humbled. Wotolis nyabo. Mama tolina sente. Mama tolina zabu. Nayo mukwano gwa mama tegusangika. Buli mama gwensanze abalokole n'abatali balokole abambuuliridde ne mundera nga sirina bwendi ne mulaba nti nkulanga nina empisa. Mukama banjagalire. Mama, nanastesa kenyembe. Mama atasangika. Mama only two for the duplicate. Mama otoli nyabo. Mama tolina sente. Mama tolina zabu. Nayo mukwano gwa mama tegusangika. Mama webale kukkiriza kufumbirwa tata wange. 20 years wali muto nnyo. At 20 I was taking care of you. Osembayo ne buli lwendwala n'okaaba n'obuuza omusawo agambye eki. Mama webale kuba mukwano gwange. Webale kwerekereza. Webale kukkiriza kufumba myaka 38 ne taata mu famire ye. Kubanga si nnyangu. N'oguma ne bavuma. N'oguma. Mama n'ojjanjaba abaama ofumbe kiki ennyinza okuwa. Webale mama munnange wandiganye n'ogamba omusajja oyo tampesa ndeke. Mama webale. Toleze nze nzekka. Oleze eggwanga ddamba. Sina mukwano gwange gwankusindikidde n'otamuyamba. N'ogenda mu malwaliro n'obasabira. N'okwata buli ky'olina n'okigaba akasente kenkuwadde oggula engoye n'oweerera abaana b'abalala. Mama Yesu akunjagalire, akuwangaaze, akunsanyusize. Mama wotoli nnyabo. Tolina sente. Mama tolina zabu. Naye omukwano gwa mama tegusangika. Mama tolina duplicate. Otoli nnyabo. Mama tolina sente. Mama tolina zabu. Naye omukwano gwa mama tegusangika. Mama bakwano ba maama wange mwenna gye muli, sirina kye nnyinza kubawa. Maama Kakooza, maama Kambugu, maama Senga Mberenge, maama Lule e Boston, maama Kintu, maama Justin Kiwanuka, maama Sala Kaweesa, maama Ntale, sister Jasi, bamaama mwenna, abaana b'omugenzi Nora, maama Nora yanyiga ekyogero, bamaama bonna gye muli, Mukama abanjagalire. I am not self-made. I've been raised by women, very strong women who are not known, very strong women who have gone through a hard time. Girls, respect your men. Love people. Mukuze abaana b'abalala. Owo ye kasi yali important. Because if they had made me to be important, waliwo abaana b'endaba mu kkanisa nga tebandisomye. N'olwokuba waliwo omukwano wakati wa maama wange ne mikwano gye, wakati wa taata wange ne mikwano gye. They have degrees now. Maama byakika, Yesu abanjagalira ab'ennateete, ab'ekabowa. Buli maama ayiseeko ekabowa. Ne mujja ne mbuulira enjiri ekabowa, Yesu abanjagalira ekkanisa. Yesu abansumululira abaana bammwe. Abatannafumbirwa bafumbirwe. Maama tolina zaabo. Abaana b'omugenzi jjajja musibo n'abazzukulu n'abaana abawakabo wa garage. Yesu abanjagalire. Omuli Bakalule, omuli ba Derek, omuli ba Brenda, Diana, Jingo, Bosco, Ben, Daudi, Andrew, Kasule, Kalule, Boazi, Ruthi. Mwenna gye muli Yesu abanjagalire n'abaana bammwe, kubanga jjajja mmwe sacrificed her garage. Ne twekweka omwo, bataata baffe bandi babakubye amasasi ne bafa, naye ne beekweka eyo ne banoonya Yesu. After 40 years mutulabe bwe tufaanana. Mamaama mwebale munnange. Aunt Rosie Nsereko, Yesu akunjagalira munnange. Kabowa, oli maama munnange, gwe maama wange, gwe mmanyi ennaku, gwe kayinza okumpolereza ng'ensi enkubye. Maama Kintu, weebale kunjagala. Maama Rachel, Maama Nanono, Maama Jasi, Maama Diana, mwebale kunjagala bamaama bange. Abakyala bonna abeddira engo gye muli, sirina kye nnyinza bbawa. Engo endeze, engo ennyonseza. Nze mu Amerika sijjula kubanga essimu kuba bukubi negenda New Jersey bamaama ne bakola omulimu gwabwe. Rachel Namwanje, munnange Yesu akunjagalire mwaka ensuso, kubanga you've made sure I have everything I need. Omusulo bwe gwampitamu you bought a food box ku Amazon ya Pampers. Hey. Rachel, wabale kuyimirira nange nga nakajja nompa $2 nekugamba mpule nongamba Esther siyinza kuwola. Rachel, Yesu akunsanyusiza kuwa omusajja n'okwagala atakulumye. Webale kundera Rachel. Namwanje webale kundera. Musumba Kintu munnange webale kukuza abaana n'obayigiriza okugaba. Kojja Kalyango ne yanziza. Ojja Seruhu weebale. Nze simanyi bwe nandimazeeko mu Amerika ku bigambo bye nnafuna. Bwe najja New Jersey nga nina COVID, temwangoba temwamanya nti mulina mwalaba kifuba ne munzijanjaba na making sure to have everything. Buli mama yenna gyali Yesu akunjagalira akumpeera ekyosinga okwagala. Mama Najinda, webale kisaakaate. Many don't understand what you go through mu nyumba ya Kabaka. Tebagimanyi. They don't know the price you pay just to be the wife to the king. When you were not the choice for Uganda, you are the king's choice. They don't know what you went through. But they have the right to use their mouth the way they want. Yesu akunjagalire mama Najinda, Sylvia, omukyalo w'omusu. Muganda wa Senganga omu bw'ati Sala Kaweesa. Mama wa Fira Kaweesa. Mama wa Rachel Kaweesa. Mama wa Magi Kaweesa. Mama wa Kalonji Isaac. Oh, mama wa Galuga. Mama wa Wakiso. Mama we Gwanga Sala Kaweesa. Yesu akunjagalire. Mwebale kunjagala. Being loved by another mother nga mama otaliwo. It's not a joke. Be careful with the words you produce. Especially in social media. You don't know us. Tomanyi agenda kuyisawo ng'olina ekizibu. Tomumanyi. Tomumanyi. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Ta Yesu yete afuga emirembe jonna. Hallelujah. Hey, Yesu njagalira all my Sunday school teachers abalamu. Ma Auntie Namwanga Betty Ntege, Muchala Dora Mugwanya, family y'omugenzi Mebo, ne family ya Dora Munene. Thank you for being my Sunday school teachers. You did an amazing job in my life. Emirembe jonna. Hallelujah. Yesu abanjagalire n'abaana bammwe. Yegwe mama Yesu yegwe afuga. Muchala Nsereko. Muchala Musoke, Musumba Musoke. Muchala wa Musumba Bosco Seboa. Yesu abanjagalire. Muchala wa Apostle Alex Mitala, Catherine Mitala. Oh, muchala wa Musumba Peterson Sozi. Yesu abanjagalire. Muchala wa Musumba Gadi. Yesu abanjagalire. Musumba Gadi. Webale kunsabira. Eddogo lyali ligenda kunzitanga nkyali baby. Nye. Katumusinze. Abasamize bali bandyawo nga ndi baby. Hey, Mama Frida. Yesu akunjagalire. Abasumba ba prayer palace. Musumba Gulliver Simosi. Musumba Sembera. You did an amazing job in my life. Nga kiganye ng'ekirogologo kifuuse ekirogologo. Mama Justin Tom Mugerwa. You're amazing. muyimiridde ne taata wange ne maama nange nompitanga ngende mu baweereza abaweereza bo ne bangoba ne nnyimirira ebbali ne nninda abo najjanga okulaba musumba Tom ne bagoba ne ŋŋamba ate naakola kikansimbe layini ne neetowaza kubanga nandiyiseewo omukungujjo naye nalindanga kubanga olina okubeera humble. Yesu n'alyoka akuteera emmeeza maaso g'abalabe bo. Thank you so much musumba Tom Mugerwa. Singa wagaana okukkiriza Mukama kye yagamba nze nandifudde Esther waabwe. Taata Dani wafa nnyo naye kasita wandekera maama ne bato bange. Mukyala Ssewagumu omu bw'ati. Maama Ntale nkwagala nnyo munnange, mwebale tulera. Famire y'omugenzi maama Eriyoosi, famire y'omugenzi maama Alisi, maama Sendagala ye yasembayo genda. The 7 women in Kabowa. Famire zammwe Yesu azinjagalire. Mama Edith Walakire, Canada. Thank you for being a mama in an amazing way. Mama wokusimwa kuyonseza ku simu. Family ya drama group. When nayimiriranga and I do recitals za poems tata zawandise back in the day. Yesu abanjagalire. Maama Lubwama Enangabo nkwagala nnyo munnange. Webale kulabirira musumba Lubwama nanjagala to a level of opening all my doors. Maama Kituuka Pros. Yesu akunjagalire munnange. Musumba Seeki. Musumba Kamya. Yesu akunjagalire mukwano. Maama Mukyala Lumu. Mukyala Senfuma. Yesu abanjagalire. Mukyala Wamala. Nkwagala nnyo munnange. Mukyala Chambad, fashion wear. Yesu akunjagalire. Maama Regina Nsubuga. Maama Biggie Gayaza. Mukyala w'omugenzi mwami Mugerwa. Best man wa taata. Yesu akunjagalire Maama Biggie. N'abaana bo bonna. Menya kindeke ki. Nange twagala abantu. Tulekerawo okwogera ku bantu. You don't know what you created in my heart we mwanjogerako. Nemutambuza obwerere bwange. Tamumanyi. Luyimba lwa maama omulundi gumu and I teach Maviira. Basenga abange bonna neyanziza. Senga mu kiti. Simanyi kye nnyinza kukuwa naye okusabira n'abaana bo bonna 7. Yesu abanjagalire. Kubanga bamaama. Helen Yesu akunjagalire. Buuti, Solome, Grace, Winnie, Patricia, ne Dan. Yesu abanjagalire. Kubanga bwe nagenda mu university simanyi bwe twandibaddewo. But you made sure nti nange nyambala n'embeera mu bantu nga ndi presentable. Maama Muwanguzi. Maama w'omugenzi Samsoni Muwanguzi. Yesu akunjagalire. Maama Pokino Bakka Solome. Yesu akunjagalire. Bebo bamaama abandeze. Mame mukono. Mama Teopista na Bale. Temulina duplicate nze mbabuulira. Temulina duplicate. Mama Nabale weebale kunjagala since 2010. Emyaka 12 nga tonkooye. Nonsabiranga buli wiiki. Nonjagala. Nonkubira essimu. Nonzizaamu amaanyi. Nonsesa. Senga w'abannange munnange weebale. Weebale nzaani munnange gw'osabira buli lunaku. Maama Yesu agenda tafaali ku tafaali. Nja kukubira essimu nkosese Yesu kyankoledde leero. In an amazing way. Because you have a right to know. Yesu oyo asese enseko. Maama atakuzaala bw'akuzaalanga okubanga 10 mu ngalo. Maama Deo Kakeeto, thank you for loving me the short time you saw me. You are just amazing. Maama wa Habati Nsereko, oli wa mulembe maama. Oli wa mulembe nakulengedde nga twafunye omuzzukulu. Ekitiibwa n'ettendo bikuddire. Maama Sali, maama w'abalungi. Queen Victoria Nangonzi. Maama mwebale tuwanirira. Mwebale tuwanirira nga family etufuddemu. Bamaama abansomesa ekitebi. Aunt Rose. Mukyala Kigozi. Mukyala wa Lusimbi. Ab'amafumbe Yesu abanjagalire. Auntie PC. Maama Nanyanzi nannyini mathematics. Mukyala Kyeswa. Twasumagira yeebakanga mu kirasi ne tulowooza tatulaba ne tuzannya n'alyoka azukuka n'akuba engolo. Mumpi wano. Auntie Jane. Mu kindergarten. Family ya the late Metron Namayanja. My baby class teacher omubwati. Anjigiriza sharing. Sharing is caring. Teacher omubwati nali ebyokulya by'abaana basukka mu 20 ng'atigiriza sharing. Yesu abanjagalire. Auntie Susan Muwanga. Yesu abanjagalira we Sweden. Nze nsi yonna enkuziza nebazaani ndekaani. Maama Sala Nancha. Sala babiri Yesu akunjagalire. Please don't call my phone, whoever is calling my phone. Twanga nja kuteekako ensi ekuwulire. Sigenda kukwata. Sigenda kukwata. Sigenda kukwata. Sigenda kukwata maama. Ndi mu kirasi munnange. Anti ba maama we bakwagala we batobabeera. Anti oyo maama kati laavu amabere gamuyika nga kunoonya kuyonse. One more time I teach and I leave. Bamaama Mengo. Mukyala Malo wa accounts. Mukyala Kigundo wa art. Abafe mukyala Kyagulanyi wa geography. Mukyala Batametto. Family ya mukyala Kaseego. Mukyala Kyohere. Family ya mukyala Birungi. Mukyala Male. Bamaama benasanga. From 98 to 2001 Yesu abanjagalire. Abakyala benasanga Caltech Academy. Yesu abanjagalire. Abe Kyambogo University. Omukyala Namuwaya. Thank you so much for loving me, being my supervisor and an environmental practitioner. Watusomesanga n'ogamba You supervise my work, my undergrad project. Thank you. Makerere nasomesebwa basajja Hey, mama, family ya the late engineer, Dr. Albert Rugumayo. Yesu abanjagalire. Hey, family ya Pastor Athol team. No Cole Richard. Yesu abanjagalire bamama abakyala bonna abali eyo. Hey, omusomesa Makef. Yesu akunjagalire. My Tanzanian family. Dr. Kimambo. Yesu abanjagalire. He looked at me when I was sick and he said, oh, you've never traveled. It's the low altitude disturbing. You sweetheart, tell it kuruma chilala. It's the altitude disturbing. You get on clinic bakuwe dagal. Hey. Asante sana, Tanzania. You're just amazing. Hey, may the Lord bless my Tanzanian team. You're just amazing. Dora, Yusuf Lisasi, Asni. Hey, there are very many. The names come and go. Hey, Yesu akunjagalire. Winnie Grayson Ziru. Mama w'abawamvu wa Caleb ne Joshua ne Paul. N'omugagga wange oli. Hey, my hobbies and OGs bamama. Yesu abanjagalire muli bangi. Yesu abansanyusize. Ivans Mwanja, I salute you. Tone Kinene. Hey, Edward Charles Mutebi. Yesu abanjagalire. Mulindwa David. Yesu akunjagalire. Bimuli kunt. Hey, Nsenga Florence. Happy birthday mkwana. Yesu akunjagalire. Mama Post Bank. Mama w'abalungi. Yesu akunjagalire munange. Akusanyuse kweno birthday okubanga eri very special. Hey, omugagga Zimbe Kayondo. Nanyini wa girls. Yesu akunjagalire. Bananga omukulu Mpaji. Sebo Sir Nelson Mpaji. Yesu akunjagalire. Aha, aya. Hamba Richard. Yesu akunjagalire. Represent all the men on the team, mwana. Mwebale kubeera bamama in a men's form. My hobbies Mengo Senior School. Benali nabo nga nze ndi mu S1 nga bali mu S4. SU Scripture Union Choir. Benayimba nabe Mengo. Bamama. Josephine Namaganda. Abakwatira ebendera. Mwebale kunjagala. Mama Tolina Sabu. My team of service providers, bamama. Yesu abanjagalire. Doka Fiona, Jenny, Nineyo, Katushabe. Banji. N'abasajja baliko banji. We are 23. Kubanga basinga bonna abadduka. N'ensigaza kabiri mu basatu. Hey. Mama mukyala Luwama. Yesu akunjagalire. Both sides. Luwama Kigozi ne Luwama Sengendo. Bamama mwenna Yesu abanjagalire. Bwe basimenye erinnya tekitegeeza nti sikwagala, kwagala nnyo. God has just decided to overwhelm me in an amazing way. Mama mukyala Lutaaya. Yesu akunjagalire nnyo. Maryland. Thank you for stepping in the gap with Musumba Lutaya. Francis Lutaya. Thank you for stepping in the gap. Mama Nsamba, the wife to Pastor Arthur Nsamba. Mukama akunjagalire in a special way. Ne mukyala wa Pastor Isaac Serokenya. Those two I got a direct contact Miracle Center. And I learned a lot from them. that I walk with every now and then. Muchala wa Pastor Nsamba bamusindikanga mu Sunday school to come and monitor us while teaching the kids. The mothers at Miracle Center Cathedral, whose children I taught, since 2014 to date, I still teach children on a personal level, one-on-one in my phone. I have some children that come to me. Bamama babana abo bonna. Those that I'm still in touch with and those that I'm not. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. Kubanga mwandigambye Pastor Isaac, oyo musomesa wa moyo. Because I know the kids used to go back home and tell their parents about us. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to mentor your children through the Word of God. It was for a short time, but it was effective. It was, what do you call it? It was a boot camp. I took those children into a boot camp. 2014 and 2015. I was with them for a short time, but it was a boot camp. I don't think I remember them seeing me laughing. If they did, it was 2015. 2016 in February, I fell sick. My laughing ended. I could not smile anymore. I don't think those kids had ever seen me physically laughing. All they saw was a tough teacher who was bitter. At first, they did not love me. They would waste time, come with their phones, and when the main church, when parents are out, kids would walk out when I'm teaching. Kids started seeing my value when I was almost leaving. And I told them when I was leaving. The last Sunday I was at church, that's when I told them I was leaving. Most of them cried. And I told them I'm around. I remember Nellie escorted me and she told me, Teacher Esther, the truth is, we did not like you when we had just met you. But we have just started liking you and you're leaving. Nellie, the time you had with me, God used it. If you can go back and do a recap of that short time I was with you guys. All the questions that you have, the answers are in there. Kane talked to me and she's like, why are you leaving now? I told her I've physically left, but I haven't left. You will have my number. Whenever you need to talk, I am available. And the Miracle Center Cathedral, I stopped hiding. I've stood with your children to date. Even when I got hurting words from them, the Lord gave me a heart to still love them. Because I knew what was disturbing them. And my job was to pray for them so that they don't end up like other kids. Because I know there's something good I have that I needed them to have. I'm not the worst example there is. I know I'm confident. I'm confident. That one, no one can take it away. Trust me. I did a good job, and I'll pat myself on the back. When I look at girls who haven't yet slept around, and they're into ministry, even those who have decided to sleep around, I'm still proud of them. Because there is always peer pressure around kids. I'm still proud of them. Those who had problems in their families and they no longer have the same issues they had then, and I prayed for them, I prayed with them. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of every child I've stood in the gap for. You are amazing. You will do great things. You'll be better teachers, better than me. I am one person who multiplies myself when I go to places, and I did multiply myself. I still pray for Esther in Richmond. I pray for Maggie and her siblings in New York. I pray for the kids that went to Canada. I pray for the kids that went to California. When I left the country, God opened for other kids besides Maggie and their family. When I left the country, Proclaim started releasing kids abroad. When I left the country like this, God opened a door for Miracle Center, Kids Church. Because God wanted someone to watch over the kids when they are abroad. I've done my part from a distance. I watch over Nkemba. Mama Nkemba, thank you so much for what you did for Bugembe. Mama Nkemba, remember I talked to you. Nganino mwana gwe kusindikira. Thank you so much for the advice. I did what you told me. And I know that girl is not doing badly right now. For her, she was a teacher in Sunday school. I had never met her. We just got in touch on phone. Ngasomesa mubana ku Miracle Center. Thank you so much, Rita Nkemba, the mother to Nkemba, Timothy and Nkemba Viola. Tata Nkemba, you've done an amazing job with your children. I am praying to God that they turn out to be the best example of children that come from a family of the Nkembas. The only football I know in the world. I love you so much, all the children I've taught in Sunday school. I still love you. When you need someone to talk to as we used to, I'm always available. You have my number. You can reach out. When you have a problem, you can reach out. If I can help, I'll always do as I've done it. I'll pray for you. Those who want to get married, the door is open. You're of age. Don't sleep around with every man that talks to you, with every man that pays your rent or buys you shoes or whatever you can want. Wait upon the Lord. I have waited and I've seen God do amazing things for me. A message came in, and the Lord paid back all the money that I gave him in April. Katonda gwe twakkiriza Katonda asasula amabanja. Abantu abatamanyi Mukama bajereze Katonda on a very big level. Bagamba abalokole tebaasoma, abalokole tebaagala kukola. Let me burst your bubble. Mwe abatamanyi Mukama mugenze ne mwetunda, ne mufuna ba sponsor mu secret societies. The money is not yours. Sente za bazungu si zammwe. Muli banafu. Sente si zammwe. Kubanga n'omala olokoka kati bagenda kujjawo ka platform and you stop getting anything. Ekitakukolera tokijerega. I'm an engineer. I'm an environmental engineer. I did 22 years in school in Uganda. I hold a master's degree in renewable energy. I never graduated. My grandfather was one of the first surveyors in Uganda who did not graduate. They told him that's enough, come back home and start working for the government. I did not graduate, but my scientific paper is on the internet running around with my research. It came from above and it followed me. When the University of Makerere caught fire, I kept quiet because I knew what was wrong. Amasiro bagakwata omuliro, I kept quiet because I knew what was wrong. But you who doesn't know the Lord, your job is to blame other people for your own mistakes. Bwe munaalekerawo witchcraft, bwe munaalekerawo okuloga, mugenda genda mu ggulu. But as of now, keep blaming one another for your rotten mistakes. Life in the Spirit. The wonder of God's grace is that Christ can live in you. Scripture clearly proclaims, all the good roads you see in Kampala, all the industries and all that, I have a hand in it. From 2009 to 2000, working on constant, it was only 2 years. Then I went back to school in 2011 to do a master's. I was in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Then I left work completely and I started a project. In 2015, I started this project. Because I love sweaters, I talked to my auntie. And I'm like, Senga, I love sweaters. Omuli mugubuze. Atenza, I'm very proud, sagala kusabiriza. Nga kimmenya. Nemugamba Senga omuli mugubuze. That was 2015. Senga sends a sewing machine which was 30 years older than I am. It sat at home. Nga simanyi operating. Not until my father woke up one day natubuuza kino ekyalaani kyani. N'atabuka. Bw'atabuka tulina omuzeeka. Oba toyagala bakulye bw'omu ng'ogamba yo. Everyone was like, Esther, 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 Esther. There was no way I was hiding because I'm the firstborn. On top of being the firstborn, I asked for the machine. Tata is like, you're not going to waste my sister's money. Naye n'akimpa straight. Nangamba togenda kwonoona sente za mukulu wange. Bw'anajja ogenda mugamba ki? Ne mugamba Tata, I don't have money to go and study. Nangamba, what do you mean you don't have money to go and study? I looked at my father asking me such questions. That was 2014 before we got into 2000. Yeah, the machine came in 2014. If I'm not mistaken, 2013, and it stayed there for about 4 years. I think it came 2014. Tata nali obuuka. Namugamba Tata don't have money. Nangamba genda oyiye. Naturally, my father. I was almost asking him, Montuma wa jembanji yango chimanyi sikola. I just kept quiet because his memory nga sinungi. Tata nalemerako nangabadde atya. Esther, ekyalaani ekifuuka ekyalaani. Now, I wake up nga kimpitiriddeko, I call my friend. I didn't know that he's not my friend actually, he's my relative. I met him in 2010 through a friend still. Esther meeting people through friends. Now, Ivan gets an accident in 2013. Ivan's accident was not for death. It was for Esther to get a circle of brothers who have stood with me in an amazing way. Financially, physically, socially, some spiritually. Kegamba. Ivan's friends became my friends to a level of being brothers. Abasajja nga Sevume Joel, Patrick Kabuye, Basha, there is Sunday, there is Nsube, we call him Vindizo, there is Dr. Mubiru, then there is Aliakola Muspeda. I don't know why I keep forgetting his name. Bruno. Mamita Bruno. Then there is another friend of mine. Mukwano Nyogwa Ivan, he used to work with Warid. I know Chalawe Hajat. Esther. those guys became brothers in my life in an amazing way. And they've stood with us till date. And through them, I got to meet Dr. Lois Mubangizi. You see how networking works? It was Ivan getting an accident, and Esther coming in to take care of Ivan, and Esther meets Ivan other pack, the circle of boys. And Esther comes from a family where men are more than girls, and she works well with boys. Those men have educated me. Those men have advised me. Joel Sevume Mwetira focus. All the time he'll talk to me and he says, Esther, I want you to focus. I want you to learn to focus. He's the husband to Doreen Nansamba Sevume. Those men have stood with me in an amazing way. They've loved on me. They've prayed for me. They love me. They have their slogan, you don't date a sister of your friend. You'll ask them why that happened. But they did that and somehow they maintained it. Bonna batata in an amazing way. And they've loved me. I stopped, waliyo omusajja nanyini 360. Oli gwe neebaka naye ku lubalaza Mulago. Badde mwerabidde nanyini kamera. I forget his name. Those men have loved me so much. Waliwo nanyini kamera. I love him so much. Abeera nnyo ku Facebook ng'aseka. Those are friends I made through Ivan. Please learn to make friends. Learn to make friends in an amazing way. Because tomanyi ani agenda kuggulira luggi. Tomanyi ani alina bisumuluzo byo. Learn to make the right friends. I made the right friends. Nina mukono gwange. Bamuyita Sesolo. Shidi. Those are boys that came from Kawempe Muslim. Nebajja Kyambogo University. Mbamanya nnyo because bali mu engineering. And of course baagala nnyo okujerega. Sesolo akujerega n'ajerega n'ebyenda ebiri munda. Naye yansanga nga nange ndi mujerezi mulungi. Abasajja nga Arafat, abasajja nga Firo, abasajja nga Musa Luwemba. Those came from Kawempe Muslim. Abasajja nga Chirige Ahmed, Nsereko, Beka, abasajja nga sa interacting nnyo ne gundi. None yakafa muganda wa Sophie. Oyo sa interacting ako nnyo naye namulabanga ng'ali ne bakyaliwe. But abali mu engineering side. When nafuna ekirogologo mu first year, ekyantwalanga kaguddeyo, abaana basigala mu class. Musa Luwemba najja okundaba ng'abuuza lwaki saze mu class. Musa Luwemba musajja mwavu. Nali nsula kaddeeka waggulu ngenda okulira ng'omuntu akonkona. Ne mugamba come in. That day was it the allergy? No, yali blood pressure ng'etabuse. Nga mpulira omutima gwewuuba. I didn't go to class. Batuula mu communication skills n'atunulatunula nga tandaba. Musa Luwemba najja mu room yange n'alinnya katanda kange. N'ambuuza, Esther, lwaki tuze mu class? Namugamba, I'm not feeling well. N'abeerawo paka ba roommates bange bwe bajja, Musa n'agenda. Mba ndi awo nga the late Paul nga naye azze okundaba. Paul Kwikiriza yafa nga ali 25 years of age. Mukama njagalire nnyo maama wa Paul Kwikiriza because Paul's death never left me the same. Paul yandaga kye bategeeza okwagala omuntu. Paul as a must. Kasita teyandabanga mu class yajjanga n'andaba mu room yange. nga tambwe gwako nga Paul Anjelega nga ngamba. Paul yali akola automotive and power engineering nga yasomera Ntale. Paul planted a seed of love in my heart. Buli mukwano gwange gwe nnina, they planted something in my heart in an amazing way. Paul is one of the men that planted a seed of love in my heart. Twagenda okuziika Paul Ibanda, one of mu mwaka gwe mu engineering. Twagenda different people, but I'm one of the girls that went and represented abantu nga Christine Muwanguzi. She could not travel, so I did travel. Nengenda Ibanda. Twagenda okuziika Paul naye ng'olowooza tugenze kuziika president nga abantu tebalina nawe bayita. That's when I got to find out that Paul was working with Church of Uganda, the Scripture Union Church of Uganda. Paul left a very big mark in our lives in an amazing way. I was looking for, I had the CD here, and I thought Sijiraba weri. Njagala mbayimbireyo oluyimba lumu ku CD ya Paul eyo. Kwaliko oluyimba olugamba nti twagula CDs to support family ya Paul ne mama we. Paul planted a seed of love in my heart. Siyinza kukyerabira. Paul yandaga kiki ekitegeeza okwagala omuntu nga tolina kyomuwa nga talina kyakuwa. Paul bwe nalwala nga yajjanga mu rumu yange nandaba. Nanjereganga n'agamba nti nno bakadde bange we nawumula bagamba tugende ffenna ewaffe. Ng'amala n'asekerera n'aŋŋamba bazadde bo bajja kukuba kibooko bakugambe nti wagenda kusoma wagenda kubeera n'abasajja. And would laugh about that. Those are things I miss about Paul. Twagenda ng'omulaba e Mulago ne Christine Muwanguzi ne tumwekera mu toilet. Kati time yatuuka ne ŋŋamba maama ŋŋenderako e Mulago olabeko mukwano gwange bamuyita Paulo. Maama n'agenda n'amulaba. Maama wamala okuva e Mulago tewayitawo bbanga ddene Paulo n'afa. Ekintu ekyo kyakola bubi nnyo. Maama n'akaaba n'abuza Mukama. Paul yamala kuweza 25 years n'alyoka afa. Kati maama n'akaaba n'agamba yiyo omwana n'amulabye yabadde muto nnyo. Mukama n'amugamba Paul had finished what I told him to do. He had started complaining, that's why I took him. I didn't want him to go to hell. Lumu nagenda okulaba Paul mukulu bya naŋŋamba nava mu class kubanga nagendanga ne mulaba. Nava mu class kati Paulo naŋŋamba kino ye yali takimanyi kino talina mikwano. Namugamba yiyi Paulo nga tuli banje mikwano gyo. Because I had to encourage him. It was so difficult for him. Namugamba nedda Paul, we are still your friends. Nangamba naye. Nangamba, what do you mean? Namugamba Paul, it's just that abantu. Namugamba, we are still friends and we are still doing the same things. It's only that kati gwe togenda mu class, but it's the same thing. Nangamba Esther, none of my friends comes to see me. Ekintu ekyo kyannuma. Namuzamu amaanyi ne neekazakaza. Namugamba kasita nzija ne nkulaba. Nantuula awo paka baroommates we baakomangawo. Kubanga nabeeranga olumaze lectures. Kati nze nga mukyova okuddayo mu ruumu yange nga ngenda mu kkulubya nga ntuula ewa Paul nga abeerako ku piano ye naakuba. Paul yasanyuka nnyo we nagendanga omulaba kati era ne Mulago twagendanga ne Christine Muwanguzi. Ono ye Paul gwe mbagamba ono. CD yange nakitadde mu bbaga kava negira naye CD eri muli mulala. Kati laptop yange we nagifikisinga njabazanyiramu bwawulire nga bayimba. Kati ono ye Paul, bano be bakwano ba Paul gye bali. Bakola eno album bagita Till the End. Bano basajja basomera Ntale bonna nga wobalaba. Kati bano babiri ba civil engineers. Those are basatu ba civil engineers kati Paul yali akola automotive and power engineering naye nga yasoma n'ab'entale. These are Ntale boys. Kati excuse me, yes, gyenvudde si kumpi nnyo. Kati munange ne muzaamu amaanyi ng'abeera nga njerega nga gamba kati ojja kugendeka maama akubuuza kati ono omusajja wagenda kusoma kuleeta musajja byakoze bitya. Nenseka ne muzaamu amaanyi naye nange we nalwalanga nga Pawulo gyannandaaba badde nkyabanyumiza omusajja gwe bayita Esther Solome. Kati oyo omusajja oyo mumulaba oyo Haji alina olubuto. Yo Haji yekka omumpi alina olubuto olwa ssente sirwa naye teyampise ku Idi yadde n'akamu. Kati oyo omusajja omulaba oyo. After school we stayed friends and we stayed in touch with different people. Esther Solome is one person I've stayed in touch with. Even when I went out of touch, he stayed in touch. Ye yaŋŋambako lumu n'aŋŋamba naye Esther, ojja ofuneyo omusajja oba tolina ssente obeera mulwadde. Ne mugamba Shidi nja kukubira essimu ng'afunye ssente. Nsadda mukogera naye paka lwe najja mu Amerika. Nennaye ennamba ye nemunoonya ne mugamba Shidi kati nafunye ssente nze nkukubira. Shidi would come home and see me when I was moving from from Seta to Seguku. He came now shifting when I was moving from Seta to Mpelere. He came and shifted us. When I was moving from Mpelere to Seguku, he came and still moved us. And he was always available when I needed him. When Ivan got an accident, we were at John Doe's place, John Doe Levy or John Doe Diana in Tinda. And after that, my blood pressure went so high. Kati ne ngamba Shidi omanyi obudde bugenze saawa zaalinga mukaaga z'ekiro. Ne mugamba omanyi tugende tunoonye entangawuzi kubanga pressure ekoze ekyerinnye. Nze nga simanyi lwaki erinnye nga ndowooza staying probably outside late twatula ne bagaayi ba Kevin ba Firo nga bwe twasoma ba Arafa abagaayi bajja tusuzeeko John Doe Diana nga taata wa afudde. That's how we used to do our thing. Kati abali mu Kampala. So Baliga Karounds Jukira yajja. That's how we move. Era twa creating a group y'aba engineers. Some have left, some are still there. Abamu tebaagala nnyo byenteekayo ku gurupu naye tebalina kyakukola kubanga yenze Esther tebayinza kikyusaamu. Abankowa ne bavaako, abayogera ebimpi n'ebiwanvu ne babyogera. Naye nno ze nno nfaayo nga nkulabira munnange. Alban yajja, Duncan yajja if I'm not mistaken, kubanga bonna baaliwo. Munnange nga tugenda okunoonya akatangawuuzi nga tugenda nga tusanga omukazi eyo nga akatale kakyali kaggule eyo ekisaasi. nga tumugamba akirya tuweyo akatundu kubanga pressure yandi bubire. Ne tugenda ku clinic ne bampima, yali enzigula awo ekisaasi, ne bampima nga pressure eri waggulu. Tuba tuli awo nga mugamba Shidi kati ate enjala ennuma. Nange Esther ati olaba bwe mbonyabonya abaana b'abendi ati munnange Shidi nga ngamba onooyagala kulya ki? Nangamba kalabo balina ekyokulya. Mba ndi awo tulinda nfuna ekyokulya ku ssaawa 6 ogw'ekiro ng'essimu eyingirawo nga baŋŋamba ggwe konze wange oli ludda wa Joyce Nakalanzi yagikuba kurr. Ne mugamba ggwe Ivan yafunye accident. Ne mugamba kiki ky'ogamba? Eyali alina pressure newona. Nangamba Shidi ne mugamba kati mwana tukoze. Nangamba munange nawunze dda nekwerabira. Nomugamba Ivan emmotoka yamusanze wabeera serious naawe. Nange Esther wentyo nno wembeera. Taata wange bwe wagwanga weekizibu ng'owulidde omubbi ebweru teyabuuzanga. Ate olumu yabeeranga mutebe nga asumagidde ng'abadde asoma Bayibuli. Neyebaka mu ntebe paka anti ennyumba yalina 2 rooms. Kati nga kuliko ekisenge n'eddiiro ng'afe abaana twebaza mu kisenge nga taata yeebase mu ddiiro ng'ali omwo ngenda kulanga the late mama Wannaluwamba bamuyitanga Irene Nambubiru ng'akavubo kaakasirusiru ak'okukyala akatagala kukola obwana bw'abasiru ku kyalo. nga kamukuba ekinnya gujju ng'oluggi lwabikamu mukazi wattu nga asibasumbuusa nga kwenu wululululu taata agenda nga kuba wululu taata atudde mu ntebe taata yafubutuka nga bufuutusi kati maama ngenda okulira ngaekitafuse nga tuvaayo fenna mu kisenge nze ama light sleeper ngenda mbuukayo kucu nze sisubwa pati sisubwa pati taata ng'ayagala kufuluma nsine kucu maama namugamba abasajja bali kuba nagamba omukazi towulira nga bagenda kumutta okyagaza ki taata nga gulawo aliwaliwa nga lwakwata omusekuzo taata wange abakukwatako mubbi yandimubuulidde ani amuzaala nange ye yafubutuka nga bufubutusi waliwo olulala era omubbi we yakoma bananga babbi nga batutawanya twalina obwana obusirisiri ku kyalo finding out nga bwana bwaba neighbor nga bwe butobba kati olulala nali nsuze wa benya anti nagenze nendaba firimu kati omubbi najja kati benya yaterekanga ekipa za pepsi mu nju pepsi fe tumutegerera kati ng'omubbi ng'agenda akuba enduulu benya mwavu ng'alinnya katebe ng'atunula mu kamoli kati nga nze njeno wansi nga nningiza nga mugamba kati kigenda maaso njagala apaati nyumirwa nnyo okulaba ebintu nze tondeka mabega agamba omubbi najja ecupa ya pepsi nakinyenya nemugamba kola ki nangamba kati tugenda kukuba bomu nagamba nemugamba kati ogenda kukuba bomu otya nangamba nedda kinyenya ekifa nnyo kati lwomala kinyenya nnyo bakukisenga omubbi ng'adduka ng'alowooza asasi onze kale ng'anyenya ng'omubbi alemedde kubambi nga mama nalwakuba bananga omusajja nzita taata ndowoozawo yali agenze ba yasuze ku kyaki nange olala Uncle Moses omwana wa the late Victoria Natimba yamutanga ne Moses ng'agenda akaabira mu nju bamaama ne taata tebeebakanga ngakaaba nnyo naye somehow nze nabeera nga mpulira nze sisubwa mikolo nange maama we yafulumanga nange nzitanga muvaka mabega nange Esther lumu the late Kinyi ng'agenda afubutukayo omukono ng'agenda ng'akuba enduulu ng'ettegula liwaawala munaite wano ettegula lyawaawala maama nadduka nange nezyanga muvaka mabega kacipikate nga ndi mumpi nga ndi mutula tugenda tulawo omwana tukyabadde bannange. There are things that are just in the blood that I cannot help it. Most of you have told me to stop certain things, but I decided to stay away from you. I know you love me and you're helping me, but you're making me suppress the real Esther. You're making me suppress my own lineage, my own. Those are things that are in the blood. It's in the DNA. I cannot see someone ungabona and I just keep quiet. Chagana. It's in the blood. My friends bogedde family yange neyogera, but ekisinga okonsesa abamu ababyogera nabo babikoze nawo bawa sente nga tebakugamba naziwadde gundi negundi nagamba wagambye mbuno twefeeko kati sente zitwakuwadde zaalazeewo. Like those are things about me that now I started a habit of doing things while hiding. Nga mpulira emirembe gimpeddeko because the real me was being suppressed. When you're walking with people, I want you to understand who they are. When I'm giving a meal, it is God bless you. When I give mama wabana, ngata ngamba I am wasting. With Amil, it's God bless you. With Fiona, it is wasting. What does that mean? We need to work together in unity. If you have family members abroad, I expect your family members to stand in the gap, but people don't. I expect, if you have a group, you should be in position to stand with your teams on a big level. I've done things in a secret way nga neekweka. Abaana ne banjogerako ebigambo ne bitambula ne bimenya omutima gwange ne ngamba kyennyo. And I stepped aside. Nangamba oli mukulu w'abakyala, oli mukulu wa biki. Lwaki abakazi bo tobafaako? Ebigambo ne bitambula, relationships ne zoonooneka. Lwaki Esther kuyimirira kuyamba abantu besimanyi? Bemmanyidde ku bantu abalala. Bw'okeeranga ku makya n'ogamba nti you are a leader. If you're not a giver, please leave the position of leadership. Just stay home. Because before you collect people, mbuno balete sente. Olina okuba nga you're in a position to give. You cannot toyinza kunga bantu nga gwe tolina kikumi kyoleese. Ate abalala we baleeta n'onyiiga. Mwayogera ebigambo ebyamenya omutima gwange nga destroying the real Esther. Because that is me. I will never change. I will not be you. Gwe weweezizo zikola mugule mubeere n'ennyumba ey'akabi mubeere nga mwebagagga mwekka ku kyalo naye nga b'okulembera baavu b'okulembera basabiriza ffe abanaku. Then I don't know why you are a leader. If you're in a leadership position, be a servant. Don't be a boss. Stop being a giant. Ate ne mujja ne mubuulira enjiri ya giving naye nga gwe tolina kooleeta. Let's stop being hypocrites and destroying other people's names. Bw'oba omuntu alina ekintu kyakola nga tokisobola, respect them and love them for them. Temumanyi bintu byenkoze. Nze legacy yange ne malambaleka ne mugibikula. Mbawako just bits. Ne malambaleka ne mugibikula bwe muti. Nze abaana abasomye because of me sibala. Obufumbo obuteredde sibala. Business ezizaaliddwa sibala. Nerowooza ssente mmeka ze mbawa. Abeewasizza sibala. Ebintu byenkoze ngandika. N'ebintu byenkoze the 5 years I've been here. I think I've even doubled. Kubanga Katonda Yesu wakyusa location ne level ya ssente agikyusa. I used to get 500,000 Ugandan shillings. That is $150. In 2009, the whole of, from 2009 May to 2010 May, it was a full year. Nenga ndabirira abantu abasukkamu. When I came here, I just doubled it. Nentwala a notch higher because I have friends who stood with me for 6 years. Nga nina abagula pads. Ng'oli ampa omutwalo buli mwezi nga zina gula pads. Nga kuvako ne transport. For 6 years. Nangamba togamba nga mukyala wange. Abakyala, omwami wo bw'olaba nga alina gw'ayamba. Instead of okuyamba to create commotion. Mubuuze sweet tuyambaani. And see how to stand in the gap. Waba muwala, yimirirawo. And you stop assuming nti omusajja we ayagala abakazi abalala. Abambi abalenzi ne beekwekanga n'obusimu bwabwe. Naye nga beekwekera ki the good cause. Nze I am a blessing, a source of great good to others. Most of my friends abayimiridde nange are very rich. Lwaki? They stretch their hand out. They are very rich. Nga bw'aba alina looni tesussa miliyoni emu. Nga amabanja ge gonna yagasasula. Nina bakwano bange abakoze ebintu ne siriikirira bwe ngamba my God. Nga bwe tuyita abantu abali wealthy. Mwe nga temubamanyi. Naye nga bw'akubuulira by'akoze you will laugh. Ng'ebintu bye byonna byakoze ku myaka gy'alina. Tuyimba oluyimba. Jesus, guide me till the end. Jesus, guide me till the end. Take my hand, guide me through the fiery battle. Jesus, guide me till the end. Olwo tutira tululeka yakugenda mpulirize ku CD mwana. Paul led that last song. It was amazing, emotional, but very interesting. I'll fight for you. I'll hold your hand each day. I'll make a smile again. I'll heal the wounds you've always had. I'll fight for you. I'll fight for you. I'll fight for you. I'll hold your hand each day. I'll make you smile again. I'll heal the wounds you've always had. I'll fight for you. I'll fight for you. I will always, always fight for you. I know the chorus. I forget the tune, that's why. Yamawe Yesu okafera ahamushararo kashesha eshagama yawe nikuhimbisa kandi nikuzinira. Yamawe Yesu wange. You've got to be the salt and the light of the world that is shining bright, that all men may see that the kingdom of God is now near. Oh yeah. Let me sing this song. Naddayo nempuliriza ennyimba nga nkoze ku laptop yange nja bayimbira mukanyimbe mu luli olwo omuwala Magi. Sibuulirengako mikwalo, sibuulirengako bazadde, naabuuliranga Yesu yekka kubanga yamanyi obulamu bwange. Embeera bw'ebanga egaanye mbuulirako oyo Yesu kisingako emikwano egisekerera abakaaba. Nsazeewo ŋŋamba oyo Yesu yamanyi ebinuma akumba ebyama byange. Ow'omukwana atakola lugambo. Mundeke musinze nze, mundeke mutendereze ye. Naabuuliranga Yesu yekka kubanga yamanyi obulamu bwange. Bwe naliko ennemereddwa nga ni mu makkati g'ennyanja, nga n'omuyaga gubimbye, nga ne sitaani ompombye, awo Yesu n'alyokaka nankubira ka sitaani nansomosa ennyanja. Kati ndi ku lukalu nnyimba, mundeke musinze nze, mundeke mutendereze ye. Naabuuliranga Yesu yekka kubanga yamanyi obulamu bwange. Maggie's in the UK. She used to come to prime time and sing. That's where I learned that song from. Okay. Now I'm stable and steady enough to teach. Let me teach and then I'll leave. What is that? I am feeling cold now. What is that supposed to mean? Choka Jesus. I am feeling cold now. That is not good.
business now. Even the other one was business. It depends on how you perceived it. Joseph Ngoma, I love you. When all these young men and women started, they were very, very humble. Please maintain that part, because that's what God is looking for. Mubawerezabe. Tegere nsi salina sanyu na mirembe. Life in the Spirit. The wonder of God's grace is that Christ can live in you. Spiritual scripture clearly proclaims this is how you can recognize the Spirit of God. Every spirit that acknowledges that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God. 1 John. Lugero lumu titata tuzaala naina byentalo uga fayo nalaba tata rafaga mirembe zet wadde mama yafayo mufate kwandi kumane muliro tombulira mulala awali Yesu wange oyo akuba ekkubo weritali talo zange mulwanyi w'amaanyi talinaye kimulema. Ku Yesu gwe ndabye for 37 years tolina kirala kyonnimba nti kikola, kubanga nze singa tata wange yali teyalokoka nze nandifudde. Ye bandinzadde tebandizadde eddogo. Sitaani kasita yategeera bw'atyo amaanyi gennina n'agamba ono tumuwambe nga bukyali, tumukyunye mama we agende mu ssabo basamire nsobole omuwambira eyo ankolera emirimu gyange kubanga amanyi amaanyi gennina. Do you know that the devil knows the power you have? You don't. Enjoy. I wrote a message, you have it, that love goes everywhere, but it only settles where it is appreciated. Where we had test the Spirit. You remember that message? You still have it? Enjoy the class. 1 John chapter 4. Beloved, do not believe every spirit speaking through a self-proclaimed prophet. Instead, test the spirits to see whether they are from God. When I came out like this, you would have asked the Lord, who is she? But because we suppressed the Holy Spirit in our lives, all of you did not see me. That's why you decided to beat me the way you want. Whenever something comes out strange, seek the Lord. Ask the Holy Spirit, Oyo yani. That is why most of the churches decided bangobe, so that I don't pollute their people. Kubanga bwe batyo bwe bagamba nti balumbiddwa. I got such words from watchmen. Nga abasumba batudde kuli balaba nga they cannot defend me. Mukama n'akireka ne kibeera. Paka lwe bangoba. Ku group ya Dr. Mulinde wavaayo ebigambo ebisongovu. Njagala okusimanya okulinnyira ku Dr. Mulinde ka platform kati ate chachi yange eno ne gujabagira mu 2020 kyali kika. They blamed me nga bagamba I'm disrespecting Dr. Reverend Musa Ture bigambo byawanvuwa. Kati groups zonna baazigala ne bagamba they created new groups. Ne bagamba if I want to join the groups I should tell those people. nga bo bennyini ebanzijja ku gurupu ne bangoba mu media ne bangoba ne mu kanisa ne bangoba mu young adults ne bangoba group zonna ne baziggala nga bwe nteekayo ekintu ng'abantu bava ku gurupu ne baziggala zonna. They never ask the Lord because they can't believe that they've walked with someone who walks with the Lord on a big level, who comes from a presidential suit. And bonna bagenda okukola ebyo ebintu nga I've already talked to Dr. Reverend Musa Tureng. He knows everything about me. And he had already seen me in the spirit. Those that God allowed that they see me in the spirit, they never paid attention. God opened me like this and they saw what is inside. But they could not come out to defend me. And the Lord allowed it. A full deacon. After I apologized to her, she's in Kenya now. She blocked me immediately, and also she's a watchman. Dr. Helen. She's the one person in some discipleship class. When we had a friction with the one in charge of Sunday school, Dr. Gladys, Dr. Helen came, they sent her to talk to me because she comes from East Africa. She took me in the bathroom. And I told her, Dr. Helen, you told us that this is God's work. Where is it? Me, I don't see any God here. I got so annoyed. Namgamba, you told me in discipleship class that this is God's work. I don't see God's work here. How do you people operate? That is Esther for you. Hey, we had a friction and I cried. East Africa and Nigeria. Nigeria does not cry. Nigeria raises voice. East Africa we cry. Nigeria raises voice. But when I cry, no one can shout at me and survive. Because remember, I am sick. I stammer. Now she's shouting at me in front of the pastor's wife. She shouted and told me, I've already replaced you. And I'm like, how do you fire me? She fired me from Sunday school, don't joke around, and said that I don't want to work. She told one of the pastors without consulting me, because she gave me work and I was busy, I couldn't do the work. Then I apologized because I was supposed to teach kids on Sunday. Those are things that happen in ministry and you don't want to talk about it. Now you're saying that I'm not saved, right? Okay. The leadership of Bethel Capital. The Lord needs you to apologize and repent on a big level. Because the Lord left that church. He's only there because of Dr. Reverend Musa Tureng. You sent people to come to the house where I was staying to ask me to join ministry. You could not come out straight. You've never come out clean and straight in my life. All the 5 years I've been here. You always send someone when you need something through me. They told you to pay me when I transcribed Dr. Reverend Musa Turen's book, Loose and Let Him Go. I have a copy here. But you did not pay me. And me, I never asked for that money. I don't know who advised them and told them that girl doesn't have a job. Please pay her. They said they will. They never. I never asked for that money because me, when I went, I was serving the Lord. But at the end of the day, the way I've been treated by church, now they are using Olivia to find out where I stay. They are asking her and telling her that I'm staying in Maryland. I just told Olivia, please, stay away from church people. Go to church, do what has took you to church, and go back home. The season is very bad. The devil is looking for who to use to devour the entire pack. Because me, I was very honest. I told Dr. Musa, and I told him there is no way you're recruiting people to get to know Christ when the soldiers inside are sick and rotten. That's Esther Solome for you. I told him that. He said, Esther, I am very busy. The Lord called me to go and get souls. I told him, Dr. Reverend Musa Ture, you cannot get souls, new soldiers, and recruit them when the soldiers inside are sick. That is why your church is not growing. That is Esther Solome for you. I told him that in 2020. Then last year, I called him and we talked. And I gave him the details of who I am. And I kept quiet. By the time I produced everything and I put them on groups, on the big group of the church, the Lord had sent me. They didn't get the point. They never asked Pastor Musa. They just removed me and threw me off the boat. And I came to Virginia because the Lord wanted me to meet Dr. Reverend Musa Ture. But they never got the point. And I told them about A Nation at the Crossroads. They never got to the point. I even gave some people that book to read because I knew they knew Dr. Mlinde. But when Dr. Mlinde fell sick, I was told that I'm not obeying rules and I have a lot of content. They called Dr. Mlinde content. Not Reverend Musa Ture, but the team that works for him. And watchmen and prophets. Pastors out there, the fivefold ministries, we are in trouble. The devil invaded the church on a big level and is using your very own. The Jezebel spirit is not only in the marriage, it is in leadership on an amazing level. When it sits in a leader, the leader will beat anyone around the pastor. They love confusing the pastors. They love confusing those big men and women. And they are too busy to notice anything wrong with the church. People around pastors, going to heaven is going to be very hard for you. I'm telling you. God comes to speak to those men and women, and their messages, they don't get their messages. Enjoy. Beloved, do not believe every spirit speaking through a self-proclaimed prophet. Instead, test the spirits to see whether they are from God, because many false prophets and teachers have gone out into the world. By this you know and recognize the Spirit of God. Every spirit that acknowledges and confesses the fact that Jesus Christ has actually come in the flesh as a man is from God. God is its source. You didn't have to call me a witch. That's why the Lord told me that, Esther, all the time you teach, I want you to tell people who you are. I told God, I keep on repeating myself, I'm tired. He's like, no, that's how I want you to do it. Because they don't know me, they don't know how I speak. And some of them love class. And you have a genealogy, a legacy that has class in it. I want to use your platform. And I'm glad we have a man on the team, Apostle Michael Chimoli. He knows how it works. He understands me now. He understands who I am. Why? Because mukulu wa kika ewaabwe, he accepted. So that abambula. That is why when he recognized me, I stood straight with confidence. Lwaki nafuna confidence? Abo be bamu ku bataata abandera. Tebayinza kuvayo ne bagamba nti ndi sitaani. Lwaki? Apostle Chimuli knows my father. Atambudde ne kabo wagimanyi. But you just jump to conclusions nga tomanyi muntu. Please, I should be the last person to be treated like that. Mwali mugenda kunzita mu COVID. Watoto neekuba, Miracle Center neekuba, Kabowa neekuba. The small churches nezikuba abo bakulu obukuzi. Ate abo bo bakubisa nnugu. Balina lukiraasi mu kintu, Kati bano bano abaana babayita abaana beeboolereze. Abo be baawa obuweereza abo. Verse 3. And every spirit that does not confess Jesus, acknowledging that he has come in the flesh, but would deny any of the Son's true nature, is not of God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you have heard is coming and is now already in the world. Excuse me. Then verses 4. Little children, believers, dear ones, you are of God and you belong to him and have already overcome them, the agents of the Antichrist, because he who is in you is greater than the Satan who is in the world of sinful mankind. They who teach twisted doctrine are of the world and belong to it. Therefore, they speak from the viewpoint of the world with its immoral freedom and baseless theories, demanding compliance with their opinions and ridiculing the values of the upright and the gullible one of the world, listens closely and pays attention to them. We teach God's word. We who teach God's words are from God, energized by the Holy Spirit, and whoever knows God through personal experience listens to us and has a deeper understanding of him. Whoever is not of God does not listen to us. By this we know without any doubt the spirit of truth motivated by God and the spirit of error motivated by Satan. Verse 7. Beloved, let us unselfishly love and seek the best for one another. For love is from God, and everyone who loves others is born of God and knows God through personal experience. The one who does not love has not become acquainted with God, does not and never did know him. For God is love. He is the originator of love, and it is an enduring attribute of his nature. By this the love of God was displayed in us, in that God has sent his one and only begotten Son, the one who is truly unique, the only one who is, or one of his kind, into the world so that we might live through him. In this is love, not that we loved God, but that he loved us and sent his Son to be the propitiation, propitiation, that is the atoning sacrifice and the satisfying offering for our sins, fulfilling God's requirement for justice against sin and placenting his wrath. Beloved, if God is so loved us, if God so loved us in this incredible way, we also ought to love one another. No one has seen God at any time. We can stop there. It's talking about love. There is no way you're going to pray. There is no way you're going to fast when you don't love anyone, and it works. They have principles that govern things. The basic prerequisite for a true Christian life is to unconditionally surrender your life to Christ. When his spirit fills our hearts and lives, we often knew meaning in life. We found, when his spirit fills our hearts and lives, we find new meaning in life, and this causes our hearts to overflow with joy and peace beyond measure. When you accept God's Spirit into your life, a miracle takes place. It is the first step in Christian discipleship, but there must be continual and consistent growth. You have to develop a continual understanding of God so that you can faithfully obey his will. When you allow the Spirit of God into your life, he begins to transform you so that you no longer live to satisfy your own desires, but to do the will of God, whom you love. Do not hesitate to walk in the Spirit. It is the only way to find fulfillment, joy, and peace. If you don't have the Holy Spirit, that's it. Open your Bibles in the book of Romans. Romans is in the New Testament, please. It is the book after Acts. We are looking at Romans 8. I'll start from verse 1. Therefore, there is now no condemnation, no guilt verdict. I'm not going to start there. Please go and read it and study it. When you read up to verses 11. I'll start from there tomorrow morning. Let me go to hospital. Let me put a song for you and you sing. Right now I can't sing. I don't want to lie to you. If I can find the songs. Before I conclude and leave, please, what doesn't work for you, don't make it look like it doesn't work for other people. Let's have respect for one another. Let us learn to love people and stay away from hurting words, rude words. If you're not going to do something for someone, please don't pretend and don't spread rumors. Stop destroying people's lives, please.